Okay, unfortunately we're running a little late, so the time is 6:36. I call the regular meeting of the Milliken Board of Trustees for July 28th, 2021 to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Will the town clerk please call roll?
Trustee Granquist.
Here.
Trustee Long.
Here.
Trustee Meisner.
Here.
Trustee Rodriguez.
Here.
Trustee Wakeman.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich.
Here.
Mayor Austin.
Here. Thank you. Does anyone have any additions or deletions to the agenda?
I move that we approve the agenda as presented.
Thank you. Town clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Long.
Yes.
Trustee Meisner.
Yes.
Trustee Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman.
Yes.
Trustee Granquist.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich.
Yes.
Mayor Austin.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. And we now have a swearing-in ceremony with Chief Benito Garcia for Milliken Police Officer Michael Orona. Hopefully you won't be pulling me over anytime soon. Several officers have experienced that.
Thanks, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor, members of the board. Tonight I want to introduce to you the newest member of the Milliken Police Department, Michael Orona. He was born in 1983 to Esther Trevino in Corpus Christi, Texas. Graduated high school in 2002 from Lanier High School in Austin, Texas. After graduation, he served in the United States Marine Corps from 2002 to 2006, with one deployment in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom in 2005. In March of 2006, he married a fellow United States Marine veteran, Jennifer Orona, she's right there, and moved to Colorado shortly thereafter. He is also a proud father of their three daughters, Isabel, Ileana, and Rebecca. So.
You can please raise your right hand. I, Michael Orona,
I, Michael Orona,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support and enforce
that I will support and enforce
the Constitution and laws of the United States of
the
America
Constitution and laws of the United States of America
and the state of Colorado
and the state of Colorado
and the ordinances of the town of Milliken,
and the ordinances of the town of
and
Milliken,
shall faithfully perform
and shall faithfully perform
to the best of my abilities
to the best of my abilities
the duties of a police officer
the duties of a police
of
officer
the town of Milliken.
of the town of Milliken.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Don't get them, Benny.
Try not to stick. Goodness gracious.
Thank you.
Welcome. Nice meeting you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome. Nice to meet you, sir.
Thank you.
All righty.
We're going to be empty.
It's great to see that support team.
Yes.
That's why you love family. Yes.
Okay.
That's family.
All righty, next up we have citizens' comment. Citizens' comment is a point in the meeting where the public is invited to address the town board on any items except agenda items for which there is a public hearing. All comments should be directed to the town board, 3-minute limit, which we're going to waive. Please approach the podium, state your name and address for the record because we're going to have an update on Civica.
Thank you, Mayor and Town Board. I just thought I would give you guys a monthly update or every couple month update on Civica. It's something to celebrate, and I know coming off the back of COVID, we are so excited to be in person 5 days a week. The kids are excited, the families are excited. We have the ribbon cutting ceremony on Beef and Bean Days at 4 o'clock. So please come. It's going to be really exciting. You are all welcomed. Yes.
We put it at 5 o'clock in error on our notification.
Would you like me to change it to 5 o'clock?
Yeah, let me see if we can get it adjusted. If we
Okay.
can, we'll keep it at 4.
Okay, sounds great.
Okay,
We're
thank you.
flexible. Okay. We are basically completely done with the building. It is so beautiful. I invite you guys to come over. The walls are so white, I'm afraid to have fingerprints all over them. That we have wood floors in the cafeteria. We extended the patio outside and put more cement out there so that every single group of kids can all be outside together every single day. We can say that's because of COVID restrictions, but really it's just because it's healthy to have kids outside. We also have hired our staff. I have an amazing staff. I'm really honored to lead them. I feel like I was really focused. I said the most important thing I'm going to do is hire this staff. I think you guys can agree with that. Surrounding kids with powerful people and good people is my success as a mother, but it's going to make a difference. I have some older, some younger. I have 5 male staff members and 3 women. I am honored to have one of them that's in the Marines for 20 years, one that's a retired Air Force sergeant, and another that is in the Army Reserves. Just happened to work out that way, but I think it's really neat for the kids to be in the classroom, especially my social studies teacher, who's a Marine. I always tell him, teach the kids why you would die for this country. Stick to that, right? So we also just had an amazing day where the Combat Vets Motorcycle Association rode from over here and had the flags on the back of their motorcycles and rode that flag into Civica and donated the flags for every single classroom. They mounted each one of those ceremonially with respect. They mounted the flag in the lobby. We all did the pledge and just we're building the foundation. And our foundation is a love for this country. So the students are getting uniforms. You guys know that every student there has to be in uniform, it has to be tucked in, and it has to be belted. You know the staff also is in uniform. We also have to wear Civica logoed and we're right in there. We're living models for these kids. We don't have social media allowed on our campus, which is great for the kids. We're going to teach them to reconnect and learn to talk again and interact and use the eye contact, which are just kind of some of the things. We've done some testing with them and happily now have an English language arts class along with a reading class. And so we have a little bit of regression to deal with. So I don't think anybody's shocked with that. The building is beautiful. I really do invite you guys to come over. It is something to celebrate in this town. The word's kind of getting out, and so I'm getting a lot of calls. Well, you can imagine I'm getting a lot of calls on lots of other topics every single day, which is absolutely fine. But lots of surrounding towns want to bring their students to Civica to just get a good education and to protect them from a lot of things going on right now. So we're really excited. We're honored to be in this town. The kids are getting stirred up. They're all in the building. We are going to be offering sports, which God bless us, because everything seems difficult when you're starting a school. But we will have a cross-country team for our middle schoolers. We were also going to have a girls volleyball team to start, where our students can also go over to KQA to do soccer with them, and they also can access Milliken Middle School for sports, and then our 9th graders can access all the sports at Roosevelt, and we will also have a boys basketball team there when that season comes. So we are trying our best to have an amazing year and focus on teaching kids, getting smart, building character, and being in person. So we invite you anytime to come over to Civica. We're super proud of it. So yeah. Do you guys have any questions? Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Are you going to teach the kids cursive?
Well, I thought maybe I'd teach them to start writing again. I haven't had that question asked in so long. Would you like me to propose that?
I would, yes.
Yeah.
I think that
It's almost like they
be a
think
lost
me and
art.
my grandma are writing in secret code. And I'm all, well, that's actually cursive, but you can think that's secret code.
Your shorthand.
It really is. good question. I'll definitely, writing is still a thing. Reading is still a thing.
Yeah.
Yes, so, but yes, I'm hoping to give you guys an update just as we get there, but it's very excited. The need for uniforms is, and funding for that and fundraising for that really is a need. We do have that need in our community. So just so you know, as we do things in the future, that is definitely a need with the school, so.
I wonder if there's a time that we can do, kind of like we did the water plants, where we just kind of, so rather than having to do 7 different labs, you know, if we can somehow coordinate as a board, at least majorly, for a thought.
Probably want to break it into 2, so otherwise
Yeah,
it's a
maybe.
meeting.
Right.
Yeah,
And post it.
Could always post it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Could we do it at Beef and Bean Day?
Well,
The
yeah,
same
we're already
day?
out there at Beef and Bean Day.
You can wore out by the end of the day.
I know, but we get it tore up before.
Oh, before the day.
We are going to have the building open all day on Beef and Bean Day. So if you guys can come over, and you guys are welcome to have a VIP tour at any time. So if you would like me to do it that way, we could do that. Get you some cookies or something.
It does look like we're going to have to go to 5 o'clock because awards ceremonies are running through 4.
Okay,
Sorry.
okay, it's fine.
So just a quick question for uniforms. If people want to donate for families,
Yes.
is there
They could
someone
just
to
come
contact?
in. Yep, they can just come on and donate, or we have a separate fund for that.
Okay.
So, yeah. But everyone's getting a uniform, whether they are paying for it or not at this point, so. And I'm just gonna do some sort of magic trick at the end. It'll all work out. In this town, I know it'll work out,
Yeah.
so. Anything else? Yeah.
Thanks for coming. Give us an update. It's really exciting to see what you've been able to do here.
It really is.
Can you give us an update on enrollment?
Yes, absolutely. We're at 140. So we've kind of did some wiggling around. We were going to do 2 ninth grade classes, but we let the community, and the community seemed to have more of a demand in 7th grade. So we have 2 6th grade groups, 2 7th grade groups, 1 8th grade group with a waiting list, and 1 9th grade group. And that's what we're going to start with. We're going to start, and I'm sure we're going to have a waiting list, and we're really happy to start small and do it right. It's a different model. Like, it's just going to take a little bit to get it going and do it right. We have Leader and Me, and just nothing we do is radical. It's just right. But we're coming off of a year of, middle schoolers and high schoolers being in their rooms a lot on their phones. So we just have some work to do. Yeah. Which I think will come naturally with just being back in person 5 days a week and seeing each other smile and giggling again. It'll be good. Laughter in the building will be fine, just as long as they don't touch my walls. It'll be fine.
Did you get your refrigerator in?
Yes, finally. The huge refrigerator that sat outside the back doors because they couldn't get it in. Yes.
Massive.
And the town, the boys came over and helped us with that.
Travis, if you know who Travis, yeah.
He's our muscle man.
Yeah, and he was our muscle man for like many hours. So we appreciate you guys. This is such a sweet town where you can do that and just be like, can somebody come help us with this really big problem, like actually thousands of pound problem. So, yeah, but it's been fun. Yeah.
Any other questions? No?
Great.
Well, we're very excited.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for letting me share with you
Uh-huh.
guys.
Citizens' comment is now closed, unless anybody else. Yeah, no, okay. Meeting minutes. Is there any discussion or comments on the meeting minutes of July 14th? I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve July 14, 2021 minutes.
Second?
Town clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Meisner?
Yes.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman?
Yes.
Trustee Granquist?
Yes.
Trustee Long?
She on mute.
No?
Mayor? Nope.
I can hear you now.
Okay.
You can hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I was saying was at the last meeting.
Okay.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich,
Yes.
Mayor Austin.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Do we have any comment on the paid list of bills? Any questions? Concerns or comments? Nothing to vote on there, so we'll move on to the town administrator's report. Administrator Powell.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Public Works is gearing up for Beef and Bean Day, so they're trying to get organized as to what needs to be done when by your list and instructions. So that's exciting. It's coming up quick. Public Works Department has also been painting and laying thermoplast for the school crosswalks, trying to get those done prior to school starting. So I think we've got a pretty good start on that. Flashing school zone signs will be installed near the KQA and the Civica area, so people get used to, especially in the Civica area, that there is a school, and speed limits will accommodate that as well in that area. Don Stonebrink, Scott Holwick, Forrest Leaf, and I met with the city of Greeley last Wednesday morning regarding the water treatment IGA that we have with them. We are working on a second amendment. We provided our comments back to them on the IGA they presented to us, and gave them our feedback, and hopefully we'll hear from them soon in regards to those comments. I will keep you apprised of that. And those comments had to do with more or less the Glick water. We talked about the shares we already have, plus that first use water. So we need to find out from them, you know, if on an annual basis they'd be willing to do this for us. So then that's pretty much it. I mean, we've just been busy. So I'll keep it short this week.
Okay, and I'll add on to your comments. And this year's honorees, the Grand Marshal is Renee Martinez, nominated by the Milliken Historical Society. The honored citizen is Johnny Martinez. I don't think they're of the same family. Nominated by the Historical Society. Honored business is Mason's Trucking, Michael Mason. And our very own, he was nominated by Scott Nix. And our very own Wayland Ehrlich Foundation is the honored organization. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So we did put it out on social media. It will be coming out on the back of the water bill. And I'm happy to say that we are doing the Johnstown Breeze special mailer, and each of our honorees are being interviewed, and there'll be a write-up in the Johnstown Breeze on that.
Very good.
So, alrighty, are there any comments on the town administrator's report?
I have a couple of questions.
Yes.
Are we doing anything with the safe routes to schools? I know it doesn't come up till 22, right?
Right.
But I just don't want us to miss
Nope.
that. And is anybody from the school district working with us on that, or? Is it too
They
soon?
typically have not in the past, but I mean, it's not saying that they can't. I think if we can, we did have that original plan that we weren't able to complete due to funding. And I think it had on there the sidewalks in front of the middle school and around that other side, the east side. So those, of course, will be incorporated in that submittal, and any other areas that were lacking that. And I'd be happy to coordinate that work with the school district on that.
I just wonder if there might be any matching funds from them through the funds gathered in the IGA or something. It takes more creativity than I'm thinking of right now, but I just feel like it's something that we really need to push, considering
Sure.
it's been 30 years plus that we haven't even had the sidewalks around the middle school, future elementary school, hopefully. So
It's very
I'd like
important.
to see that done. It would improve the looks of the area.
Well, and when I take walks down that way, I mean, there's, unless you're walking on the north side, I mean, you can't even
Right.
walk down.
Right.
And it, you know, and again, too, it's right across from the skate park.
Yes.
You know, so as far as kids' access, taking their bicycle, if they use that at the skate park, or their skateboard.
Right.
It certainly makes sense, let alone for the reason of going to and from school.
Yes.
So, no, that, we have not lost sight on, yeah. So Pepper and I have talked about that happening in 2022. You know, we're also looking at grant opportunities for the dog park, a small GOCO grant, and hopefully being able to apply for a large GOCO grant for Ehrlich Lake Park. You know, why not go after these grants that are
Yes.
out there? So
Absolutely.
they're certainly helpful.
And my other question is on street sweeping. Are we doing that this year, or?
We have been. I don't know what the schedule is.
We're still doing it on Wednesdays. We did have the sweeper was broken, and we had to wait for a motor for the belt drive. That took a month to get in, but it is operational.
Okay.
We're out there this morning.
Are we posting the areas on the website? No?
I am not sure.
We should be, so people move their
We
cars.
should, so, yeah. And I thought we had been.
But I haven't had a list for it.
Okay. So we'll get with Jason, and we'll get a list going for people for on the website again. That way they know when we're coming through with the street sweep. Street sweeper, I can say that.
There's a lot of people who don't get on the website and aren't going to know. I know in my block alone, I'm probably, and there might be one other person who gets on the website and nobody else does. So just putting it on the website is not going to notify people to get their cars off the road, street.
I think we need an email program.
I like it when I see the little
Door hanger?
Huh?
Are you talking about a door hanger? Or
No,
we had,
just the caution cones, whatever, that, you know,
Yeah.
this street is coming up on this weekend, whatever.
Do we have
I've seen that
signs?
before.
Yeah, I think Scott was going to order them.
I thought we had signs that we put up, so people will see it. We actually have, they're like sandwich board signs, aren't they, or something like that we've placed on the streets, letting them know when they're going to be.
Probably makes more
Yeah.
sense.
So, I mean, we're trying every which way we can. I know we had those that we started using this last year, so.
We also have a couple of properties that are really looking rough. I'm sure there's probably more, but two that I know of that,
Weeds.
yes. And I feel like,
There's a couple that I noticed, and I forwarded on to Chief Garcia and our code enforcement officer, and when I was driving around. So hopefully he's notified those property owners.
Thank you.
Well, I just want to mention on my street, there's a vehicle with a flat tire that's been there for 2 months. And then there's somebody with a trailer or a camper that's plugged into their house. Then down the street from there is a house with probably about 15 cars that's parking up and taking everybody's spots. So it's been
We'll discuss it after the meeting.
yeah, after the meeting.
Yeah. If you can send me an email, perhaps, and I will make sure that that's looked at.
Okay. Any
Will
other
that work, Chief?
questions, concerns, comments? Okay. Anything else? Thank you, everyone. All right, next item is the consent agenda. Consideration and approval of the intergovernmental agreement for conduct of coordinated elections. I'll take a motion.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Town
Who
clerk,
was
please
that?
call
Sorry,
for the
that
vote.
seconded. I can't barely hear you, sorry.
Second.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman,
yes.
Trustee Granquist,
Yes.
Trustee Long,
Yes.
Trustee Meisner,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich,
Yes.
Mayor Austin.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. All right, we don't have anything on the action agenda, but on the discussion agenda, we have the dog park proposal. This is Go Mill Committee visiting us, Brandon, and Keith Staggs, our Parks Director.
Hello, hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
My partner in crime right here. I mean, on awesomeness right here. So, there's a couple things going on with Go Mill. I'll give you kind of an update just after this, but the first thing that we wanted to kind of bring to your attention, we finally got a hold of Xcel. So Xcel Energy finally came back to us and has actually given us a thumbs up, conditionally, to go ahead and add some equipment along with some shade in the dog park. We kind of pulled together the Go Mill committee. I can't take any credit. I was actually out of town, but the awesome team pulled together a bit of a slide deck. I'm hoping everyone has them in your packages. But basically, we've created a general proposal. This was, like I said, conditionally approved by Xcel. We do have to provide the actual list of equipment, what parts are going to be involved, et cetera, back to Xcel, because they need to confirm that there's no like metal rods sticking up to hit the power lines kind of thing. But the goal was to build a dog park area where within both the large and the small dog areas, so that there's an agility course. This is just a kind of a generalist mock-up, but we can kind of look at each of the pieces of equipment here side by side in just a second. It would be replicated between both, but the small dogs would have a smaller equipment, maybe not as tall and stuff like that, while the bigger dogs might have some of the more bigger items to jump across. And then we are working through with the shade structures. We were talking about some pagodas or some type of pavilions. Again, it cannot be metal, so we're looking at like the wood structures that might have like a sun sail type of covering. So it's not going to be 100% sunproof, but at least it's going to give at least a little bit of that reprieve from the sun. Yes?
On the pagodas, though, aren't a lot of the connectors metal? Is Xcel going to allow that?
So there are some that the metal is on the inside of the wood, so you can put it up, and it might be a small bolt that's still exposed. We are going to have to, again, they did conditionally approve a structure, so we did have to confirm, okay, do we need to rubber line the bolts or do something with it? But from our understanding, based on the original review, we did put a pagoda in that original proposal to Xcel, and again, they did say that that should be completely fine.
Okay, thank you.
So just to give you an idea, we added all the cost stuff. I won't go too much through this portion right here, but just to give you some ideas of some of the structures we're talking about, things that are little ramps going up and down, things such as just simple stepping pads that are made out of wood, some tunnels and systems that dogs can enjoy along with their owners, and then some things like little stands and little jumps, tire structures, everything that we can find that again doesn't break that threshold of metal, right? Anything that's either rubber, plastic, something that can be also the critical part, not stolen. So stuff that can be dropped in, held into the ground, and if it is stolen, it's not a huge deficit at that point, right? But we're trying to create the mock-ups now of what each of the equipment looks like. But these are what we're going to send over to Xcel if this board agrees with this, just to get their confirmation around it. And then again, just a few additional structures such as like a teeter-totter. And here we have the previous Go Mills chair created an initial mock-up. So our goal was to put a lot of the agility equipment in the corners. And the reason why is that we want to make the landscape, when you're having to mow the lawn, we don't want to have them have to like dodge. I mean, We have the mowers do agility course too, if you really want, but they prefer if we kind of have them a little bit more into different zones. So dogs can still have that really long runway for, playing fetch and stuff like that, but then you can also have kind of that agility course in the two corners. And then just for, again, an idea of like a shade structure or shade type of structure, the goal would be to put either one on both sides, or if we can get one that's long enough that can stretch across both sides. This is just a sample, again, of what it could look like. So total all, we're looking at around 19,000. We are definitely looking for grants. This is a proposal to go up to Excel and to also make sure that you are comfortable with this proposal. But we would probably still seek some type of support from the parks budget to help with, especially if we do find like a matching grant. Another thing that we've thought about was we're gonna probably walk across the street at some point, talk to the animal hospital here, see if there's any in-kind donations or any type of advice that they can provide us. And even with some of these agility courses, we still want to make sure that we're not doing anything that's going to injure an animal if they're out there. Kind of thing. So that's kind of where we're at. Our goal right now is that by probably mid next month, or like the second next month, is when we'll come back for your official approvals. We're trying to clean this up. We'd like to get it out to Excel soon, but I would like to first check with you if there's any concerns about this proposal before we send it off to Excel.
And I do just want to point out that Excel picked this package plan from this proposal we sent them. So the pieces, those things are all okay and approved. It's just like Brandon said, the materials. So we do have the authority to move forward. Yes, they just want our material list now.
I would think we could get the tires free, donated.
On the side of the road.
Well, I wasn't going to go quite that far. They look like painted tires, and there's enough of them on the side of the road.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's going to be some of the options with some of that equipment. Most of this cost is shade.
Yeah.
And that's, especially with the way cost of lumber is right now. Yes, sir.
That's part of my point was what you just said. With the cost of lumber, is there a reason is it just, I see 520, so I'm guessing this was kind of thought about a year plus ago?
So the original proposal, someone just snapped that from a thing.
Okay.
This is a new slide, but someone just caught the the thing from there.
I didn't know if this was reviving from a year ago.
Nope.
But with the cost of lumber, is there a reason that versus like an actual canvas awning type situation with just not all you're talking about is 6x6s or whatever?
Yeah,
anchored.
So the only concern we have right now about just doing a standard shade structure is the wind in that area. And just because when we look at the plains area, we're afraid that the wind might cause damage to like a sunshade that was just out there. Now, if that's something that we would want, that would cut a huge amount of cost. And so, that could be part of the just basically once we start finding out whether we can get grants or not. If we can't get enough grants, that could easily be one of our cost savers, is just do a 4-post and then a sunshade across, and then just plan every 2 years to replace it.
So as far as the wind goes, the 3-post ones are much more apt.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, it's a 3-post and you can put 2 or 3 of them. The other thing is with that actually catches, it's a rigid sail versus it doesn't just flap. Okay. That's a rigid one. And it's also, if I were, say, 14, 16, it's a good place to perch. So
very true.
Just in consideration, when you're younger, a climbing object like that is very enticing.
Yeah, I mean, what we could do is to save, if we were to save some cash, we could easily do like a 2 or 3 sunshade at that point.
Yeah,
right?
You can do just 3 posts, and you can buy. We were looking at it for a different reason, but you can buy those things for $600-800 for a good canvas, and 3 points. They stay taut on all 3 edges.
Okay.
Versus collapsing them.
Yeah, definitely. So I'll take that back to the board, and we'll definitely look into adding that into the proposal.
I was to say, Brandon, too, I don't know if Keith showed you the next round on GoCo grants. I think I gave you that information. I think they have a grant cycle for, I'm going to go off the top of my head, I think it was August and then December for this year. And it might be, if we're ready for, at least in December, to apply for a mini grant, a small grant from them, which is what this would cover.
Right.
That might be beneficial.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know if we'd be able to meet the August, but for sure December.
Exactly. Be nice to get one in this year.
Yeah.
We did pull some of the GoCo grants out, and the dog park didn't fit into all of them, so we had to. I think the one that it fit into is the next year's cycle.
The Ehrlich Lake
Because
one.
when we looked at the description of it, the one that they have going on this next year is for staffing.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there's also animal ones that we're looking at. The biggest challenge right now is with COVID. A lot of the organizations, that at least so I run another nonprofit. I'm having struggles getting a lot of grants right now because a lot of organizations are cutting grants pretty quick because they're still rebounding from COVID. So hopefully, maybe later this year we'll be able to get some more luck. Again, like I said, we do want to approach the animal hospital, have a conversation, or animal clinic, have a conversation if there's anything there that we can do.
Great.
So, any other questions on that proposal?
Do we know when the security cameras will be up there?
I heard from Matt, they're trying to get us on the schedule. He's supposed to let me know as soon as he hears. I'm hoping I hear something tomorrow.
Thanks.
Cool. So if no other questions on that, just to give a quick update for y'all. So on top of the dog park, we are also looking at Ehrlich Park right now, going around the Ehrlich Lake area. We're looking at some more what we like to call the multi-generational play. So bringing in more adult and youth elements, try to make it from what is that playground that's for a certain age to something that's more expansive for multiple generations. So we just met out last week, started to go through the park, started to talk about some design ideas. A lot of the design with that right now is very natural. So kind of the natural play elements, bigger boulders, less landscape, more stuff that's, maybe, you could do fitness, but it's also very prone to just going out, chilling on a rock and sitting there and, watching the sunset kind of thing. So we're working on that. We also have started the trails plan. So as part of the master plan, we are working on an appendment for just trails. So we've started out writing out the basics around where we recommend having regional trails, where we recommend looking into more connectivity. I actually have a meeting with Pepper and Keith in early August to start reviewing that plan, and hopefully once we get kind of a good draft, we'll bring that in also. That one obviously is not one that we'd be looking at immediately starting because, as you all probably know, trails are not an overnight thing. So it'd require a lot more investment and time, but at least getting a map out that says these are where we think routes should go is what we're looking for to set up as a recommendation.
Is that working in conjunction with TRPR and what they're doing? Okay.
Yeah. So we've got the specs around the Wildcat Trail system that takes us down to just down south, and there's also work that City of Evans is working with Greeley. So there's a connector that they're looking at. We're hoping that we might be able to get into with Johnstown also, and they're working on that connector right now with the YMCA. So there's a lot of opportunities. We just have to make sure to capitalize before everything gets too developed too quickly.
And we're also working with the MPO because they can also be potential funding.
Right.
And we have the regional plan.
Yes.
Mike Ehrlich. For those of us who have a little trouble launching our kayaks, have you guys discussed yet launch points for kayakers and paddle boaters?
We've talked about expansion on the current fishing docks. We have not actually talked about launch points. I actually won't lie, I did not know you could recreate in the lake. So I can totally take that back to the board.
Yes, had a short conversation with Keith, so he had some ideas I think that would be very beneficial.
Cool. Awesome.
No swimming, but you can boat.
I'm always good.
Kayak,
Yeah, I
yeah.
can see 2 posts and a very large rubber band, and we'll just stick our kayak in. See how fast you can make it to the other side. Officially launched.
It is lunch.
Give him the look.
So I'll definitely take that back to the board because
It's
they will
filling the
love that
lake.
idea. Yeah.
Saying, okay.
Yep. So that's kind of where we're at right now with the parks. We're trying not to go too much, so that's why we're focusing on these 3. The only other thing, sorry, one last thing.
Yes.
We did get a notice back from FEMA on, Martin Park. They did tell us that we cannot do any big structures, so most of our proposals were rejected. They did actually agree-ish with our natural space proposal, which is much more of a natural space, more just bringing in native grasses, plants, flowers, stuff like that. So we're reinvestigating what else we might be able to leverage that property. Of anything, we just turn it into an open space, I think. So go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say, can we blow up some of the recommendations for the dog park and have that at Beef and Bean Day so people can take a look at what's in the works?
Yeah. So we did talk to Carrie a little bit about possibly getting a booth at Beef and Bean Day. The challenge is I will be in the mountains building a trail. So hopefully we can find someone on our membership that will be able to go out and...
We're having them at the town booth.
Yeah, just at the town booth is fine. They already have one.
Oh, okay, awesome. Yeah, we can totally get some blow-ups of that and a few other the concepts if you want.
The board members will all be able to explain it because they'll all be in the town booth at some point or another.
Awesome.
We're going to have a dog launching tonight. Run, Fabo.
That's how it works.
This conversation's going down.
Is that the cannon?
Run, Fido, run.
So, cool. Any other questions that I can help with right now?
I'm very excited.
Awesome. Cool.
Thank you.
So, thank you all so much for your time. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out through Carrie or Cheryl to us. Cool.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks.
Okay, the other reports are written. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
No?
You have one more item.
We have another item.
Grice property.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Gould.
Yes, no problem. This doesn't have to take long. Staff has been working on a claim that we received from a property owner. This relates to the property on the southwest corner of Highway 60 and Traders Lane. Basically, we received an email from an attorney, and he claimed that there is a sidewalk there that there's no right-of-way or easement for. We have spent some time researching this, and it does appear that there is no right-of-way for public use of that sidewalk, and so we've been going back and forth trying to negotiate a proposal. I think the consensus of staff is that it would be appropriate to pay some compensation in exchange for a deed-in fee of the property under the sidewalk to the north all the way to Highway 60, and the reason is that would give us flexibility in the event Highway 60 is expanded in the future or widened. So we are still negotiating this with counsel for the owners. We're getting close to finalizing it. It has taken some time. We did discover, or Carrie discovered actually, fairly late in the discussions that there is a recorded document that appears to dedicate some portion of this area for expansion of Highway 60. So that has affected our discussion. I apologize for not having any documents in the packet for you, but before we present you with a proposal, those will be included. So you can see a little more detail about what's happening.
Where is this at again?
It's
Here on Highway 60.
Yeah, it's the corner of Highway 60 and Traders Lane.
Rustenburg.
Okay.
It's a sidewalk that runs parallel to 60. So we can discuss that when more details are provided, but we wanted to alert the board that there's likely going to be a proposal to pay some compensation in order to basically protect that sidewalk.
Okay, so my question is, isn't that part of the Metro District?
Not this property, I don't believe. No, I don't, not this
Sidewalk was
property.
put in by the Metro District. So why is the town paying compensation for something that the Metro District did?
Well, the town authorized the installation of the sidewalk. I did speak with Leonard about this, and I don't have an answer to your question, but I can. Well, I think the answer is that we want the public right-of-way. We want to protect the passage of the public on that sidewalk.
But if it's in the Metro District, it's part of the Metro District to maintain it.
No, I don't think so. I don't believe that's correct. Pepper, do you know I don't believe that's correct. Is
Out
it?
there.
Not this parcel. I don't believe this parcel is. It was put in without any formal agreement. It was just a verbal, hey, can we do this? Yes, that would be fine.
So the subject property is not platted. Officially, it was left out of the Settlers Village sequence of plats. There were a number of plats and replats on that property. The easement that Carrie found was recorded as a separate document, an individual document. There is right-of-way dedicated on either side of that parcel in the Settler Village developments for additional right-of-way, and it appears that the easement was designed to match that. However, the sidewalk isn't exactly parallel. It has a serpentine, if you will, kind of formation, and so it does dart off out of that easement onto private property. And the documents that we were able to find for the construction of that indicated that the town was going to take care of securing an easement for the trail. It's part of the Settlers Village trail system. And for whatever reason, we weren't ever able to find that that was actually done other than the separate document that Carrie found. So whether the intent was to build that path entirely within that recorded easement and the actual construction deviate, who knows? But it does appear that we need to go back and protect a section of that trail and get it under an easement so that we have connectivity.
Okay, so I got one more question. So where that sidewalk runs is also Little Thompson Water District's line. They have an easement. So how are we going to get an easement if Little Thompson's already has an easement?
Well, what we have contemplated is acquiring the fee all the way from the south edge of the sidewalk to Highway 60. That's right. So whatever fee we acquire will be subject to existing easements. It won't override them. But our use is purely of the surface. There is also a public service company easement that runs through part of the same sidewalk, and it is true that if they want to go in there and dig some of this up, they have a prior right. But we do want to preserve in some way public use of that sidewalk. So that's the goal here.
Okay.
And that's it. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. Now I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I so move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're out.